Alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Wa alaikum salam.
My name is Jamal. Last week Friday I had a little bit discussion with my teacher, and she talked about homosexuality and Islam and how are we seeing about it. I just gave her my short understanding and how we Africans and Islam don't accept homosexuality, and we talked about it. But my question, the most important question that I just developed this night, I want to give it this question. I'm throwing out a challenge to all homosexuals. If you really believe in your homosexuality, please answer me. And teachers, the ones that are introducing homosexuality in schools, colleges, universities, I want them to answer this question for me. You being a teacher and a teacher of a particular class, if I, being your student, if I'm not able to be if I'm not able to give you what you want or what you asked me to deliver in your class, if I'm not able to do it to your satisfaction, will you pass me? No. Because you actually gave me your rules and your regulations, and I'm supposed to be able to deliver what you asked me to do. So as a teacher, you asked me to be able to do this. If I'm able to do it, you give me A+, B+, or this. This is what you put, and I have to I have to live by that rules. So same thing, let's go to the bigger part. If you go to Allah, the creator, subhanahu wa ta'ala, he created us human beings, and he gave us a way to live. There's a regulation and rules to live that kind of way. There's a rule and regulation to live that kind of way. If you are able to live that way, to live to please Allah, He will give you what He wants to give you. If you are not able to please Him, He will do what He is supposed to do. Allah asks you to live, marry a woman, and give birth to kids, children, so that they will dominate in this world. You decided not to give birth because you want to be with a man. You want a woman to be with a woman, because of your own personal feeling. Who told you have a personal feeling here? Somebody created you, greater than you created you, and give you His rules and regulations. You are coming to say you have your feelings, so you can't live by that rules and regulations. That means you're gonna have even worse than F. Just like in class, if you are not able to live by your teacher's rules and regulations, she's gonna fail you or he's gonna fail you. So Allah gave you rules and regulations that we should live by. A man marries a woman marries a man. Adam and Hawa, Allah created Adam and Eve, Adam and Hawa, to give birth to human beings so that we will dominate in this world. So my question for gays, homosexuals, and lesbians, and the ones that are introducing it to our society and communities, I want them to answer me. If somebody the overall boss asks you to do something, are you going to be able to do it? Or are you going to say that because you have your own personal feeling, you do what you desire? That's my question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
My name is Aisha. So to continue what my husband said, these people that are calling themselves homosexuals and gays, okay, it took a man and woman to get together to give birth for you to be here. That's the nature of things. A fruit comes from a tree. A tree that does not bear fruit gets cut off. If the trees did not make fruits for us to eat, we will all die. If the plants did not make food for us to eat, we will all die. Same way that we're all put here to procreate. So if your mom and dad got together to give birth to you, and now you decide to meet with a man and man or woman and woman, where you cancel out each other and do not procreate, what kind of insult are you giving to the order of things? In nature, everything procreates. Anything that does not procreate ceases to exist. So unless you want to end the world in a faster pace than it's supposed to, which your gene, when you marry man and woman, which will end after you, because no other thing will exist after you. You will not procreate. Your gene will not expand. You will just end right there. And the sickening part of it is, now you're going to so-called third world countries that the white man has said, Africa, Mexico, Indonesia, wherever are so-called third world countries, even though they're filled with all the riches of the world. You people are going there and taking their children. You gays and lesbians are going there and taking their children. And when you take their children, you bring them here and you put them through rigorous experiments. where they have to live with a man and woman, and it messes them up psychologically. Now these kids grow up and they're confused, and chances are they may adopt your way of life. So who the heck should give birth, should follow the natural order of Allah and give birth, for you who are disobeying the natural order of Allah to come and take your children and come and raise them in a house of sin and corruption, in a house of man and woman. So in the day of judgment, you should just know that everything that you have accomplished is going to be punished for, is going to be accounted for. Your ways that you are living, if it does not match, you don't need anyone to come and tell you. It is just for you to analyze and examine for yourself. You're living in a world that everything has to procreate. The trees have to bear fruits for you to eat. Then don't eat. If you agree with the natural selection, the natural order of the Most High, don't eat. Everything must bear fruit. When you are not bearing fruit, you are going against the natural order of the Most High. So then don't eat. Don't drink water. Don't eat the fishes. Don't do any of that. Since you want to cancel out each other like cancers, that's what the white man promotes, like cancers. And you go forward to alienate other countries, put them into poverty, propaganda them through the media that they're poor, that they're this, and starve them and poison their land and inject their land and give them diseases, Ebola, HIV, AIDS, and the works of it. So when they become poor, then you go there and you take their children, you experiment on them, you draw their blood, you do what you have to do with it, and then you raise them in a gay house, in a homosexual house, messing up us psychologically. Now you incarcerate our men into jail system, where man and man has to be together for like 20 years. And we all know that man and man don't stay together. Man and woman are supposed to be together, and at the peak of their sexuality, anywhere from 16 going up to the age of 40, where they need to be with a woman, you put them into a cell with like 5 or 6 men at a time, and they end up having sex with each other. They end up being gay. When they come out, they don't even notice the black woman anymore because they've spent so much time having sex with one another. Then you put it on the media, and you put it on TVs and the rap shows and everything, and you're promoting homosexuality. Shaitan, what are you doing? We know your ways. We see you so clear. What are you doing? Now you're trying to make homosexuality a black thing. And it's not a black thing. It's never been an African thing. From Sodom and Gomorrah, when you guys were all having sex with one another. From Rome, when you guys were all having sex with one another. From Italy, when you guys were all, from your Pope, where your Pope is sleeping with little kids, little boy kids. That's not our nature. We marry women. We marry women. We don't even have sex with women that we haven't married yet. We marry them in abundance, and we make sure that we take care of all of them. This is what you're promoting. You're promoting cancers. You're promoting the cancellation and the non-existent determination of the human race. And I pray to Allah that it only ends with your race. And may you always be punished. Assalamu alaikum.